side. I'm healed by the wound in his side. I'm healed by the wound in my Savior's side, yes. I am healed by the wound in his side. Hello everybody, Sirwalterj Drum Show. I'm here, it is a midday connection. Baby. How y'all is? Come on in, the water's fine. Hey, pandemic, epidemic, pandemic. There is a difference. Good to see you, Jay. Good to see you, Elder Smith, and the rest of y'all coming in this afternoon. Let's talk about Mr. Corona to the virus, shall we? Good to see you, Derek. Yes. Healed. Yes. Everybody say, I am healed. Yeah, I am healed. Well, this thing called Corona has caused problems for many of you. And what it has caused more so is the illness itself is not the pandemic is not really the illness as much as the fear of the pandemic. Y'all understand? And most of you will agree with me here is that this is really about fear. This is about fear. Now, when we come to you about fear, we don't want to also downplay the validity of the sickness, the disease itself, the virus itself. All right? COVID-19 is new to many of those in the industry of science and medicine, but it's not really that new. All right? It's new because there is no fix for it just yet. It takes a little while because we have to go through a system of testing. It's going to take either months or maybe up to a year to find a vaccine to rid this thing. So until then, fear sets in with people, not just in America but around the world. As a matter of fact, I just got through eating. I found an article on NBC that said that scientists were close to a coronavirus vaccine years ago. When Donald Trump was running and when he got into office in 2016, they were asking for funding because they saw this thing coming. If I say no, it isn't, I'll get burned at the stake by the hysterical mob. Right? Hey, Dave, good to see you. The money dried up. Scientists wanted money to put into getting a vaccine drawn up, and they were not interested. Oh, but now they are. As a matter of fact, let me read this article here. Houston, Dr. Peter Hotez says he made the pitch to anyone who would listen. After years of research, his team of scientists in Texas had helped develop a vaccine to protect against a deadly strain of coronavirus. Now they needed money to begin testing it in humans. But this was in 2016, and more than a decade had passed since the viral disease known as severe acute respiratory syndrome, or remember SARS, had spread through China, killing about 770 people. Now that disease, an earlier coronavirus similar to the one now sweeping the globe, was a distant memory by the time Hotez and his team sought funding to test whether their vaccine would work in humans. You understand? So when something like these things happen and then you don't hear about it for a while, then we go back to being complacent. We go back to shaking hands and hugging and kissing and high-fiving and sleeping with each other and doing what have you, because that's the way men are. That's the way the children of Israel was with God. God took them out of Egypt. They were there for 400 some years. He took them out of Egypt, 400. He took them out of Egypt and did all those miracles there at the Reed Sea, y'all may call the Red Sea, all right, through Moses, and feeding them, and the fire and the pillar and all these things, all those things then they got complacent in the wilderness and forgot and began to build up these idols. You understand? That is America. That is Europe. That is Asia. That's Africa. That is mankind. We forget. We tried like heck to see if we could get investors or grants to move this into the clinic. And the co-director of the Center for Vaccine Development, he was saying, and they wouldn't budge, they wouldn't move. That was a big missed opportunity, according to Sirwalterj and other vaccine scientists who argue that SARS and the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is MERS of 2012, should have triggered major federal and global investments to develop vaccines in anticipation of future epidemics. But instead, the SARS vaccine that Sirwalterj's team created in collaboration with scientists at the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston is sitting in the freezer. No closer to commercial production than it was 4 years ago. But what's happening in America? We're fighting over political mess. We're fighting over who's going to put up a wall. And meanwhile, the enemy keeps coming in and wiping out those who may have preconditions. This is what this disease is doing, is wiping out those who have preconditions. So if you're over 60 years old, you need to buckle down. All right? It's not killing the children. It's not killing people my age. It's not killing black folks either. You notice, you ain't heard one black folk die. One black man or woman died of this thing, okay? But it's affecting those who have these preconditions, or their immune system is weak and they're helpless, that is, and the seniors and what have you, okay? All right? So this thing has gotten in the way of other diseases. This thing has gotten in the way of people who need medical attention, and y'all are buying these masks and taking them off the shelves, and the people who got other sicknesses, they need this stuff, and y'all are going crazy. Why? Because it's all about the emotion. You should run for office. I would vote for you. Rough? No, I'm too scared to run for office. All right? What were you saying here? Darwin, China was about to be the leading country in the world. Now all of a sudden they get attacked by this man-made virus. Ignorant people. Yeah, and people are... This disease has turned into a racial problem because now people are attacking Chinese and Cantonese and Japanese and everybody who's from the East. They're attacking them, and they're not supporting their diners, and their Chinatowns are vacant. I went to Panda Express today. Not too long ago, I went to Panda Express at 12:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday. That is the hottest day for lunch, when they're usually wrapped around the block because they hungry. 12:30 in the afternoon, I went to Panda Express, and 2 people were in there. 1 patron and me. And the workers are all, you could tell they're all Asian, and they sitting there just wondering, where is everybody? Yeah, this thing has caused a problem, as if because they're Asian, their food is going to give you coronavirus. This is a wake-up call, all right? So America, you know, this stuff was going to happen, was destined to happen, because you're too busy fighting on something that you're taking your vision off of the ball. And people are allowing fear to take over. Yes, Jay, you're taking your mindset off the ball here. God, especially you who are believers, you who are Christians, you're not focusing. You lost your focus because you let the world pull you in on this fear. You let the world and the media pull you in on the fear. Listen, you're going to, each day from the time of this recording until whenever this stuff stops, each day you're going to hear about more people catching corona. At the time of this recording, Forrest Gump and his wife, okay, all right, they both reported to having corona. What is his name? I'm not trying to make fun of it. I just couldn't remember his name. What's his name? The Oscar man. Okay. You're gonna see of more and more people getting it, and the news is gonna keep reporting more in your town. Yes, Jay. Remember Goshen? Yes. Come on. There it is. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Yes. Tom Hanks. Thank you, Blendon. All I could call him is Forrest Gump. Okay. The greatest movie ever written, by the way. All right. So, every day you're going to see more and more people contracting this respiratory issue. All right, and it is the news's job to make sure those numbers go elevate and that they report it to you. Well, the reason why more and more cases are going to be discovered is because people are going to the doctor to get checked out. So now here's the thing: we need to find those people. We need to see the numbers go up. Okay? Believe it or not, you're like, you know, what? What are you saying, O. Jones? Listen. Focus. We need to see how many people have been affected by this, because if we don't know, we cannot put it in a bottle. We cannot contain it. We cannot then advise properly on how to create the vaccine for it. You understand? So it needs to be reported every day so that the scientists and the medical industry could say, okay, here is what we're working with. Now here is how we're going to contain it, so that the government also can take the steps to properly contain it. The church people are more afraid of fear. Yeah, I know, Dauber. Church folk, come on, y'all. Just sad. All right. So, your dear president said it was a hoax. And I know some of his voters are on here right now, and right now you just walk away or turn your face. Your president kept saying it was a hoax. He said that the Democrats or the liberals created this thing, and then his followers were saying that they create this thing to get after Trump and all this stuff. And again, you people in politics need to shut up for a minute, because you are affecting the people who they entrusted you when they voted for you. You're affecting their lives. Stop fighting over this partisan bickering and mess like that. And please, please refocus. Now the president comes forth last night and say this thing is real. No more travel to back and forth to Europe unless it's the United Kingdom for obvious reasons. All right. Remember he called these S-hole countries, and remember he was stopping people from traveling over to certain territories, Muslim territories. Well, he left the gate open of Europe. You left the European gate open. Now look what's happening. Okay, why? Because y'all gotta stop with all this fighting and bickering and xenophobia and all this. Your fear is over here, and meanwhile Satan is coming in on this end over here, saying, as long as you're fearing over there, I'm gonna come over here where you think it's safe, and I'm gonna attack here. Oh, y'all getting on my nerves, all right? So it's too late. So he decides to give a fix last night on his addressing the nation, and this morning the stock market went, woo! I mean, it dropped so fast that the bell rang. They had to, when it drops about how many points, how many percentages, I can't remember how many, 10%, 7%, I can't remember how many percent. When it drops a certain percentage, it automatically, there is a system in place to stop the market. All right, it pauses the market, and so that they can go, sort of those who are there at the exchange could look at it and say, okay, there's a hole in the bucket, Deliza, there's a hole. Well, fix it, dear Henry, fix it, okay? And we thought the president fixed this. No, he told you that no travel. So what industry is the non-traveling affecting? And those of you who got travel stocks, guess what happened to your stock? Ah, man, all right. And then to offer a to offer a small business loan from the SBA is not going to help either, because if you're not making money, now you got employees, you can't really afford to pay them. You're going to start laying them off. So getting a loan from SBA, yeah, may pay your employees until that money dry up, because if the people are not supporting you or buying into your business, then you can't recycle that money to be able to pay the SBA loan back. And the United States is a service sector. It is not a manufacturing sector. You understand? So you don't have any goods, products to sell to the people, because you are a service industry. And so the SBA loan is not going to help the people. And so his other fix was, well, let's just do something with the payroll tax. All right, well, that could help in some capacity, but now you got to go to Congress for that. That is not an executive decision. And so now the Dems and the Republicans are fighting. Nancy Pelosi and Trump ain't talking. Ain't this about nothing? Two old geezers ain't talking, and meanwhile the American people are dying, and they're going to die because of fear. Many people are going to die this week because of fear, because two old geezers is fighting. These are people y'all elected. All right. So this thing could have been averted. China knew this was going on, and they tried to squash it because they didn't want that attention coming into China. Well, America, you knew you was going to be affected by it. Why? Because we import almost everything. We import everything. Everything we got is imported. We don't build nothing anymore. Y'all like, well, if we build this, we build that. Yeah, we may build this, we may build that, but we import more than we export. China got us by the... Y'all know what that is, right? It's sad. I'll never forget being in the car with a young lady in this car, and we were driving, and I said, I'm hungry, I want something to eat. She said, what you want to eat? I said, I want some Chinese. She said, oh no, no, Brother Jones, no, we ain't getting no Chinese. I said, why? Why can't I have Chinese? She said, because I ain't eating nothing who worships Buddha. I said, what? She says, I don't want nothing who worships Buddha. Look at this. Look at this. Look at them. Look at this. Hope this don't shut off on me. Look at that. Now that's crazy. That's crazy. Just wiping out stuff. So I said, she says, I don't want nothing. And she said, I says, Buddha? What do you mean Buddha? I just want some Chinese. I ain't trying to worship Buddha. She said, no, I don't buy nothing Chinese. And while we driving and riding in this car, I noticed the car that she was riding had an Asian name to it. It sounded like Mitsubishi or something. I said, this is a nice car. She said, thank you, Brother Jones. Thank you. Vroom, vroom. Yeah, I love this car. I said, where you buy this car? She said, over there on the corner, blah, 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 blah. I said, is this an American car? She said, no, it's not American. I said, what do you think this car was created? Not into conspiracy theories or coincidences, but I'm wondering if there's something to be said about this happening during the election year. Yeah, well, the statistics show, I'll do that show tomorrow. So she said, it was made in, I don't know. I said, look at the name. I said, this is an Asian name. I said, this was made in China. She said, okay, I didn't know it when I bought the car. Okay, let me turn this off. She said, I didn't know it when I bought the car. All right, so I said, all right, I'll let that slide. I said, let's go over here and pick up something to eat, and we'll take it to your place. Okay, we picked up something to eat from an American so-called shop, and we took it to her house. All right, Justin, we took it to her house. I knew I was gonna get her at her house. So we got to the kitchen, and she put stuff on the table. Y'all know what I was getting ready to do, right? You just answered your own question. America had to stop China from making money by importing and exporting goods. So, yes, Darver. So we were sitting at the table, and she passed me my plate. Okay, I said, give me some silverware, and she gave me the silverware. I said, hey, come here. I want you, what did that plate say up under there? Right up under there. She said, made in China. I said, okay. I said, you see this teacup right here? She said, yeah. I said, what that say right there? She said, made in China. I said, okay. This silverware here, this is so pretty. You gave me your best china. She said, yeah. Now you can hear her go, boop. I said, turn it around. What did I say there on the handle right there? Yeah, the handle. Made in China. Okay. All right. Now, this is a nice table. Y'all, this is a true story. I love telling it because it's funny. I said, this is a nice table. This is a nice table. Yeah. She said, surely you don't want me to go up under the table and read where it's come from, right? I'll do it for you. I said, yep. China. And I said, all right, let me walk around let me go to your living room. She said, sit down, Jones, and eat your dinner. I said, wait a minute. Everything in your house is Buddha made. Everything in your house is Buddha made, but you don't want to go to the Chinese restaurant. That's, pandemics is something else. We've had several of them, by the way, but she don't want Chinese food. No, she don't want Chinese food. I think the only thing that was not Chinese in her house, I think was the tablecloth or something like that. I turned the tablecloth over and it said made in Taiwan. I said, well, you got me on that. It does Taiwan. I said, but where's Taiwan? Okay, so pandemics. There's a history of them, and what exactly is it? First of all, the stock market is I believe we're going into a bull market. We had a great 2019. We were in the bear market most of the year, and a lot of people made good money. We were breaking records, good money. Matter of fact, then we broke a record coming into this year. It was amazing, and then the scare came. All right, and a bear market is a condition in which the security prices fall. All right, and of course the bull market is different. But if it falls 20%, all right, 20% more than recent highs, then you're going into that bear market, and the market is based off of most times, pessimism and optimism and fear and emotion. The market is based off of emotion, and this is why the market dropped so hard when the first news of this pandemic was mentioned. The same thing happened with, I believe, with SARS. The same with the market when we started hearing about cases of Ebola, the market dropped. When we was hearing cases of Zika, the market dropped. We heard about SARS, the market dropped. All right, and so it's dropping again. H1N1, the monkey flu, and the bird flu, and Spanish flu, and all these things. All right, the market drops. Right, depending on the scare. But pandemics there's only been a few pandemics. All right, started back in Athens in 430 BC. All right, and some of them are, and I don't want to take you through all of them. The 11th century, the leprosy was a pandemic. Leprosy, absolutely. Although it had been around for ages, leprosy grew in a pandemic in Europe in the Middle Ages. The Black Death of 1350, the Columbian Exchange in 1492. Who sailed the ocean blue, and where did he come? All right, and when those pilgrims came over here, and they looking for a place, and they trying to discover something, and they discovered that the Native Americans were here, and they wound up passing out the smallpox, I believe. Okay, they were wiping out Indians because of what they were bringing from the European nations. All right, 1665, the Great Plague of London. 1817, the first cholera pandemic. In 1855, the third plague pandemic. 1875, the Fiji measles pandemic. 1889, the Russian flu. 1918, the Spanish flu. 1957, the Asian flu. 1981, HIV and AIDS. And the AIDS pandemic was like the last big one. And I believe the coronavirus may be the next biggest one. Still too early to tell. I think more people's got to die for them to put that into the history books. To make people panic is to hit them in their pockets. That's it, Darva. It's all about money. It's all about finance. Matter of fact, let's talk about that. What industries are being affected by this? Negatively, of course, the gig economy is being hit really bad. For many of you who are trying to make money without a boss, or without at least an immediate boss, all right? So those of you who are Uber and Lyft and these other rideshare companies and Deal Dash and all these other things, many of you are definitely going to take a hit because people are too afraid to be in an enclosed area like cars. Yes, Darva, I love you and I appreciate you. This coronavirus thing has brought to mind something that I didn't consider before, germophobia. It is a very real phenomenon, yes, hence the much longer department store lines and empty shelves, yes, cleaning products and paper towels, Richard, and people are, you can't get toilet paper now. This is the coronavirus, and people are afraid that the toilet paper is going to run out. It's mostly women because women need toilet paper. One roll of toilet paper will last me a whole month or so. All right. And my daughter moved in. Now I gotta get make sure that I keep that roll filled because in about 3 days that roll is gone. Right? Why? Women just their parts. They don't have men parts, so they kind of need the toilet paper. But the reason why they're running in there to get toilet paper because they figure they're going to be stuck in the home, and people were buying toilet paper before they bought water because they figured they need to wipe first. It's more important than drinking water. I don't understand. So who else is going to get hit? The airline industry, of course, is definitely gotten hit already. And these cheap tickets are doing great for many of us. But after a while, the airlines cannot continue doing that. And so what's going to happen is they're going to be canceling a lot of flights. And it will be difficult to get flights at least at times that you want them. All right. So, yeah, the tickets are cheap. But after a while, you won't be able to fly as vast as at different times of the day like you used to. So you really want this to be over as soon as possible. Concert promoters, of course, are going to lose a lot of money. Sports arenas, they're canceling the NBA, and even here in Chicago, they canceled the St. Patty's Day Parade, which is the biggest in the world. We in Chicago, we color our Chicago Lake green. It is something that no other city does in the world. All right, and that's a big thing to cancel that. Blessings to you, Ruth Harris. So good to see you. Fast food restaurants, of course, at least if they don't have delivery service, it's going to hit them pretty hard. Chinatowns, import-export industries, those shipping yards are going to get hit. Online travel agencies, hotwire.com, Travelocity, hotel.com, and all these, they're going to get hit. The hotel industries, Airbnbs are going to get hit. Convention centers, and of course churches. Lakewood Church in Texas. Where's Lakewood? Is it Texas? They got hit. They canceled their service for Sunday, and so they have to watch it online like the rest of us, like the rest of y'all. All right. Well, who will make money? If you're in this sector here, you will definitely make a killing if you had thought. Ooh, my God, I'm looking at this market. That hurts. This is the worst. Dow closes down 10%. We broke another record today. We've never, ever seen this. Last time we've seen something close to this was when Barack Obama was running, when he got in 2008. But still, this is worse than that. We've never seen this before. If you got stock in Netflix, well, So I guess a lot of churches won't be touching and agreeing. No, I ain't greeting nobody in Jesus' name, not with a holy kiss. The Bible says greet one another in a holy kiss. No, it's just I'll text my kiss to you. It's gonna be a lot of if you got emojis, if you got stocking emojis, yeah, all right. Those who are going to be making money, YouTubers, will be making good money because people are stuck at home, and they will be turning on YouTube to watch shows. And so, if you're in the news industry, if you are reporting like what I'm doing right now, your YouTube channel is about to go up. Especially if you're talking about any type of pandemic, I think you're going to do okay. All right, smooch, smooch. Yeah, you're going to do all right. Wi-Fi streaming companies are going to do good today, this week, this month, maybe for weeks or months from now. Your cable company offers a nice broadband package, so they're going to do pretty good because people are going to just stream a lot. Utility companies are going to do good because people are going to be back home. They're going to work from home, and so the light company, the gas company, the water company, the bottled water industry, obviously, your phone company, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T is going to make a good penny. My Netflix stock is the only thing that's up. Yep, Stacy, trying to tell you, if you people y'all wasn't thinking, who else is going to make a good piece of change? Hand sanitizers industry is going to make a good piece of change this month. Their quarter is going to be great. The Lysol company quarter is going to be great. Toilet paper companies, their quarter is going to be amazing. Video game industry is going to make a lot of money. Delivery services are going to make a lot of money because people are going to want things shipped to the house, and whether they want the pizza delivery guy and what have you, DoorDash. The medical industry, obviously, people are going to have a lot of medical bills when this is all over. Yeah, the insurance industry is going to be paying out a lot. Big Pharma is going to make some good money. But I will say, those of you who are book authors and you are publishers, you are going to do pretty good this quarter. I imagine this thing is about also beneficial to hackers and online identity theft. Richard Hall, because of the scare factor, absolutely. There are a lot of people who are going to be duped. Your social media accounts are going to be hacked. A lot of false news are going to go across your news feeds, all right, and you're going to be pulled into giving up your identity, especially the elderly, those who are feeble up here. The spam calls are going to come in, all right. This scare, usually when scares like this happen, then these thugs make a lot of money. But if you have a book out, here's a good time. Talk about your book. The 4 Women That Men Desire is my book by Sirwalterj Jones. You know what? I'm the only one on Amazon. Out of the millions of authors on Amazon, I'm the only one with that name. Just type in Sirwalterj Jones, and you'll see this book, and you can be at home reading this with some bonbons and some tea, and understanding why do men are attracted to you or not. Through this book here. So if you are an author, or you are a publisher, or if you are a book printer, you are going to do pretty good, because what are the people going to do at home? People are going to want to read something, and they want to read some love stories, some erotica. They're going to want to read some educational how-to, and how to fix this and do it yourself, DIYs, okay, DIY. All right, all these things. So if you're in those industries, you're going to do pretty good this quarter. All right, now I'm gonna close this down. For those of you, I told you for years, I've been telling you to diversify. Whether you're going to get into the stock market or not, it's your choice. You don't have to get into the stock market to make money. You understand? I got in it really late. Flora, you want me to sign your book? Send it to me. Inbox me. I'll give you my address. And just send it to me. And I do sign them, and I send them right out. But I told a lot of you that you need to diversify. You need to have at least 3 streams of income in order to make it in something like a pandemic. Because pandemics can hurt you financially. Prom season is coming up, Marcy. Yeah, they already talked about, actually, prom got hurt before this thing happened. There was a talk of of this coronavirus happening 30 days ago. There was just a talk of it, and it coming from China. Actually, in late December, the prom industry was getting hit in late December because where do these prom dresses come from? They come from China. They come from those sweatshops, all right. And so the manufacturers, all right, the people who need dresses, especially when there are embargoes or there are restrictions on importation through the government, United States government. You go down there to the stock, to the yards, the trucking yards. Okay, the shipments, many of them are being rejected. All right, and a lot of dresses are on those trucks. If they're not coming in, then the retail can't stock the dresses in the stores, which means not only the prom industry gets hurt, but also the wedding industry gets hurt as well. All right, and so cotillion industry and all these industries where you have to dress up, you're gonna get hurt. I believe more so the women than the men. The men could just go to these other stores and get suits and what have you, but I think the women are going to have a bigger problem. All right? So have 3 streams of income if you can. Your usual job is one. I'm still debating if I should postpone my 50th birthday party in June. Davita Barnes, that depends on what you're doing, and it depends on what's happening by June. Right now, at the time of this recording, we're in the 2nd week of March, I think it is, so we never know that this pandemic, something could have happened by June where some of these things are being released. The industry, the school sector, the universities and the colleges are closing their campuses. They are making the students learn online. My godson and my goddaughter, they got emails that said that they can't come to class. And they're on campus, and so they have to go online in order to do their classes. And next week is spring break. All right. So 2 things are going to happen. Spring break will be extended another week for some, and for others, the university is telling the students to. Usually for spring break, you leave your stuff at the dorm and then you go on spring break. But they say now take your stuff with you when you go for spring break, because our campus might be closed when you get back and you can't get your stuff. Good to see you, hips. Okay, and so this is happening across the board. All right, so a lot of people are being affected. So this should be a lesson to many of you you're lazy and you're not taking the time to think about your family and generational wealth. You should have been putting money away. I told you this 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, when I really was stressing it. I kept saying, put some money away. All right. Number 2, I kept telling y'all to stop relying on your 9 to 5 for all of your needs. This is a problem because your 9 to 5 is not secure. None of your 9 to 5s are secure, because even if you think it is secure, something like this happens, a pandemic, all right, which comes in and causes your sector, especially if your sector is public, like it is traded, and it's an IPO, all right? It's traded on the market. Those of you who have 401ks, your 401ks is in the market and it is being affected. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those of you who have different types of life insurance, okay, it's being affected. So if you're relying just on that one stream could be the one stream that bury you if it gets hit by the market. Massive layoffs are happening all over the country, especially the airlines are laying off just laying off crazy. All right, and many of these restaurant owners losing 50 and 60% of their business. Chinatown here in Chicago, a couple of the patrons of the owners, proprietors, saying, you know, they're losing half of their business, and they're begging people to just come sip some tea. We'll give you 80% off. Just sip some tea with us, please. We're begging you. Or they're going to have to close their doors. All right? So, this is about fear. Why? Because getting the coronavirus is not a death sentence. Many of you think it is. And all the inbox messages that are coming forth about, you know, gargle salt water and even Jimmy Baker. Remember Jim and Tammy Baker? Well, the government sued Jim Baker because he was selling a product that he says on his show that kills coronavirus. You know, this just sad stuff. All right. And they had to the government had to issue him a cease and desist order to get him to stop scaring the people, to get them to buy this product that he was selling, this snake's oil stuff, on his religious show. You evangelicals, I don't know what to say about y'all. It's bad enough you Pentecostals or something, but you evangelicals, y'all are sloppy. Y'all would just buy anything if you just put the name Jesus behind a product. Y'all would buy anything. Many are recovering, but the news won't tell us this. It's about pushing the agenda. Yes, hips. Yes, there's pros and cons to that as well. Again, we need to know close to us who is getting sick, and then those who are dying, so that we can at least get a vaccine. So yes, it's getting blown out of proportion, but right now we kind of need the proportion blown because we need a vaccine. And as soon as the vaccine comes, then the scare goes down. You understand? We need the scare to go down so that the economy could relax and go back to working as the United States. All right? Because many of you mom and pops are going to be suffering in the next quarter because you can't afford to survive because of the scare. Understand? We are emotionally driven people, and it affects everything in life. You understand? So we kind of need the media right now to do the stuff that they do. We'll just let them do it, and we'll allow it this time because we got to get fundings into vaccination so that we can get rid of this thing. Now, again, don't fear. Don't fear. Those people are fearing, but don't you fear. You be careful, but don't fear. All right? Continue to wash your hands. I've been training myself not to touch my face. I touch my face a lot. I've been training myself not to touch my face. I'm touching it now because I haven't touched anybody. I've been in the house, all right? I went out to eat something, but I have a box of wet wipes, antibacterial wet wipes. I have a couple boxes. Someone blessed me with a couple boxes of these. So whenever I go to church or whenever I leave the house and get in the car and I know I'm going to go to the gas station, I carry these everywhere I go, and they're cute and convenient. They go right into my pocket. So whenever I go out and do whatever I do, I'm conscious before I touch my face. And then when I leave the store, I open it up and I wipe myself down. You make sure you wipe your phone because corona or any of these viruses, they stick on glass, and it's harder. They stay on glass longer than they do on other surfaces. You understand? So your phone is made of glass, whether it's fiberglass or whatever glass it is, it's still glass. And so those germs are on your phone. So what you do is you got your phone in your hand, especially if you got the flip. All right. You walking around touching folks, all right, and you on your phone, okay, and then you might flip your phone. Well, the germ is in the phone. It's on the glass. And you put it in your pocket, and then you shaking hands, and then you do this, and you wipe yourself, and you think you're fine. Then you go back and your phone rang, and what do? Hello? Now it's on your face. You know what I'm saying? So that you come up with a habit where if you're going to wipe your hands, you wipe your phone, as well, and cover yourself. It's okay to be careful, all right? But the corona's not going to kill you. It ain't going to kill you. How y'all do that? Decree and declare? Is that what y'all do? All right, I decree and I declare. It ain't gonna kill you. All right, you got some preconditions in your body, and you're over 60. All right, yeah, you may have an issue, but 80% of the people who have coronavirus it's mild, they have mild symptoms, and many of the people who have it don't even know they have it. They're just carriers. They don't know they have it. All right. So again, this is more of a scare than anything. Our current hospital system are only equipped and staffed for the average numbers of patients. Houston, we have a problem. See, Logan? Yeah. I wash my hands 20 seconds. Yeah. Sanitize my phone. Yes. They say sing happy birthday. I think how many times you sing? Just sing happy birthday. And then you go into the crevice, going in between your fingers, they said, all right? Most of you are not used to washing your hands that long. 20 seconds is actually long. It don't sound long, but it is. So this virus, in effect, is controlling our behavior. Richard, that's exactly what it is. We have become zombies. We're zombies, but we're into that state before we become zombies. I'm going to call it the zombie effect. All right, now. Yes, this is more lethal than the flu. Yes, this is true. The flu is 1%, and the coronavirus is they up to some places 3% more lethal, okay, than the flu. This is true. But we should have been this precautious before this coronavirus came. We should have been always washing our hands. We should have always been more germa careful before this happened. All this is doing is just teaching us. It's just helping us understand that you can't live in this world today when we're so connected with the whole world like we are and not be careful. We should have always been doing this because I caught the flu the other day. It had me down for 5 days in that bed. Couldn't move. I could have had the coronavirus. I just didn't know it. So I self-quarantined myself. You understand? This could have been what I had. All right. So yes, comparing the flu with this, true. You can't really compare the two. They're two different beasts. They both are corona. Coronavirus is this very. That's why you see a human coronavirus on the back of your Lysol cans. It had been there for many, many years, and people will see that and say, "See, that the government is trying to blah blah blah." See, they've known about this coronavirus. I want to say some words about some of you people. You know, you Christians are so easy. Earth girls are easy. That was a movie called Earth Girls Are Easy. Y'all are so easy and gullible and vulnerable. You just don't know nothing. you just don't know nothing. Okay. So, coronavirus is a test drive right now. That's all this is. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just a test drive. It's in beta. Flo said, "Can you find out what you had?" No, I'm healed, so there's no way for me to find out what I had. Now that I'm healed, I don't think it really matters. But I could have had it. So I don't know. I just thank God I'm healed. I just saw a tweet by Bernice King, MLK's daughter. "Please don't downplay the anxiety people are feeling. Encourage caution and calm without being spiritually antagonizing." Yeah, Richard. Let me say something to that, because I'm glad you wrote that, because I was getting ready to say something when I came on and I forgot to say it. America is worried about their precious world. Deborah. This virus jumped from animals to humans and has mutated. Yes. Logan. Number one, you prophets out there, you're getting ready to set up your kingdom, whether it's through Facebook and YouTube or some type of telecast, and you're getting ready to mislead the people. I'm in on your misleading. Yeah. I know what you're getting ready to do. Some of you have already done it. You prophets and prophetess out there, you're getting ready to use the coronavirus to spread your prophetic deception. It's coming. You always do it. because you know the people are vulnerable. This is Y2K all over again. I know how you operate. I smell you. So you who are going to be watching all these prophetic people talk about stuff, I need you to try the spirit, not by your spirit, but try it by the word of God. You need to have a relationship with God and pray and ask God for wisdom before you start letting prophets speak over you. I'm preparing a video on word of knowledge. I am going to do that, but I'm going to dispel some of the rumors. All right? I'm going to talk about what I feel that God is telling me dealing with Donald Trump and this virus and a couple other things, because there's some things I need you to watch for. I'm more so John the Baptist. I'm not coming like Ezekiel or Amos or Habakkuk or all these other people. I'm coming like John the Baptist, more so. All right? So get ready for that video. But I want to talk to you people who are around animals. All right? You people who are around a lot of animals. And whether you are farmers, whether you are pet lovers, whether you like exotic play, whether you are hunters, all right, those of you who live in certain areas in the South, in woody areas, in plain areas, and in the Dakotas, okay, I need you to be careful, because some of you are part of the problem, especially you nasty people who are having sex with animals. You know, God has wiped out men for doing the very things that some of y'all are doing with animals today. Genesis chapter 9 is a hint about the blood of the animal. In Leviticus, when he talked about the blood, and he talked about animals that were good and unclean, clean and unclean. In many cases, God has not changed his mind on some of the directives he gave to the people because he wanted them healthy, and he was not trying to put a hard thing on them and everything. He was trying to keep them pure. And there's things that we walked away from because we keep calling it the old law. That's the old law. That's God testing those people. And so we went into the New Testament. We heard Paul says that there's nothing unclean that God has made. This is true. There's nothing God made is unclean until it kills you. Did y'all hear what I said? God made it. God made the gnat and the rat and the snake and bats. Okay? God made it. And he told Peter, he put all that sheet of meat on it, and he said, "Rise, Peter, slay this and eat it." And Peter was like, "That's unclean. I can't eat that." He says, "How dare you say what I made is unclean? Eat that stuff." Okay? Now, you never saw, though, in the scripture where Peter ate it. Did you? But God was trying to teach him a lesson for where he was getting ready to go. He's getting ready to go to a Cornelius' house. And Cornelius, anyway, that's another Bible story. All right, so all these animals, God says, I made these things. But they carry diseases too. And over there in the meat market over there in China, and see this stuff start happening in Wuhan, all right? Over there, they slaughter these animals, and if you notice, you're not allowed to see a lot of that stuff in America. You're just not allowed to see a lot of this. They call it the wet market, and they go over there and they slaughter that stuff, and the wetness. If you ever go on YouTube, you can see it done. And you see all these exotic animals. They are dripping on top of each other, and man got no shirt on. He ain't wearing gloves. Many times he ain't wearing no gloves. And he cutting all these animals up. And it's dripping onto each other. All the drip in the blood. All right. And then they run water over it, maybe. All right. And they cut it up and put them in bags. And they sell them to who? wealthy people, rich people, people who love that exotic stuff. And then those workers go home. They get on an airplane, they get on a bus, and they travel around the world and spread it. And those animals then are shipped, out. They're exported out, and with these diseases. And so the blood of the animal and the blood of man mixes, and that's what this coronavirus is. This new strand is man and a beast and another beast. And this thing, I'm gonna do that show. All right. So y'all are doing things that God punished man for. We told you this is not clean. You should not be eating this. And then what is man doing? He's pushing himself further and further into where the wildlife is up against the wall. We've already taken over their territories. We continue to break down the forests, and there in South America, where most of our air comes from, our oxygen comes from the rainforest. All right, we're constantly tearing them down because we want industry. And where are the animals going? All right, we're being punished because we're not taking care of the earth that God has given us. All right, so 2004 SARS, 2008 the avian flu, 2010 the swine flu, 2012 MERS, 2014 Ebola, 2016 Zika, 2018 Ebola, and 2020 Corona. Will there be a 221? Of course there will. 222, 223, absolutely. This is just a test drive. More is getting ready to come. So now what is the lesson to all of us because of this? Always be ready. Always. Jesus said on the mountain, on the Mount of Olives, he told them, this stuff is going to happen. And when it does happen, just know that is the beginning of tribulation. That is the beginning of the end. It's not the end yet, but this is just the beginning. Now, this is not our death sentence. Corona is not our death sentence. We've actually had worse. And yeah, worse is going to come before this thing gets better. But this ain't it. God ain't through yet. There's more coming. Okay? It's just that your fear is being tested. That's what's happening. More so, as the pandemic is in your fear, is being more tested than the virus itself. All right? So, be cautious. What did Ronald Reagan would say? Trust, but verify. We are bringing it upon ourselves, Robert. Yes, trust, but verify. Are the ones not ready to meet the Lord are scared? Yep, Stacy. So what is the message to the church? Witness. Our message to the church is the witness. All right? So get out there and get the witnessing. Let your co-workers know. Time's up. Time's up. This is your time. They're going to be running to you for advice. Get ready. Church, they're coming to your church for advice. Get ready for them. All right? So make sure your outward life lines up because they're coming to you for help. And get ready. You're going to have to minister to them in this. They're afraid. The world is afraid. But you're not afraid. Yeah. Blessings to you, Reverend Milam. So good to see you. Yeah. You can't be afraid because then if you're afraid, they're afraid. What's going on with the kingdom? There must always be kingdom building, all right? In the midst of pandemic, epidemics, and all these things, all right, you still got to stand strong. Let your light shine. No man shines a light and hide it under a bushel, all right? So get out there and preach the gospel to the people by any means necessary. Here is God is allowing us to see this, allow this coronavirus. Now, Some of you are saying the devil is doing this, the devil is doing that. I mean, even I alluded to it earlier. I mentioned that you're looking over here to stop this from happening, and the devil comes to the back door. Yes, the devil does come to the back door, but God allows this. One thing is God's permissive will, and the other thing is God's perfect will. And God uses the enemy to teach his people a lesson. If you've read the book of Amos, and if you've read from the prophet Habakkuk, he asked God a question. You're going to allow this thing to happen to your people? These people, these are your righteous people, per se. And God says, okay, I'm gonna teach my righteous, so-called righteous people a lesson. Because the Jews, or the people of Judah, were given what's called perverted justice. It was perverted. They were doing what America's doing today. They were not, the judges were not righteous. All right, and if the punishment was not fitting the crime, and they were disbarring, they were not tending to the poor and the needy, and Habakkuk was like, God, you're going to sit here and allow this to happen? And God says, no, I see this, I see it. And Habakkuk said, well, what you going to do about it? And God says, when I tell you, you ain't going to believe it. Then he says, and whoever else tell you, you ain't going to believe them either. He says, I'm getting ready to take your cousins, and I'm getting ready to use your cousins, the Chaldeans. He says, I'm getting ready to take your cousins, the Chaldeans, and whip your butt. Who are the Chaldeans? Those are those people that live in Babylon. He says, I'm getting ready to use them. And Habakkuk was like, wait a minute, you're going to take we're more righteous than them. Why would you allow those evil people to come over here and do this to us who are more righteous? God says, I got to teach you a lesson. So these viruses is nothing God had to make up in heaven. The earth is the Lord's. Everything that he has is already here. He's only allowing you, he's turning you over to your own mess. Romans chapter 1. He says those people were in their own little sins, and God says, I turned them up, and I turned them over to their own lasciviousness. And he says, now they're going to do things and they don't even know that it's right or wrong. They don't even know. They're just doing it. And he says, I'm going to turn them over to a reprobate. So the things that you're doing with these animals, God says, I told you to stop. Okay, here. Go ahead, keep eating bats. Go ahead, keep putting your finger in the mouth of that wild animal, that carnivorous animal. Keep putting your finger in there. It's going to bite you. And then it's going to bite your son and your son's sons, all right? And then a pandemic is going to happen, and you're going to call on the name of the Lord then. So, church, here we are. Yes, that's it, Darva. Modern day Babylonia. That's exactly it. Sorry, I just... good to see you, Marlon McDaniels. Be kind, rewind. All right, I'm writing a book now about the United States of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, we're definitely the poster child for all these evil kingdoms: Edomites, Amorites, Hittites, Jebusites, the Babylonians, the harlots. That's the United States. Sodom and Gomorrah, the Philistines. That's the United States. We're all those people. All of them. The Babylonians, and the Medo-Persians, the Romans. That's us. All in one. People are weeping from reaping what they have sown others. Wee. That was tight. All right, y'all. I've been on here a whole hour, and I'm going to go now. Thank you, God, for your presence. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your kindness, and thank you for your word, and thank you for your instruction. Thank you. God, that's all we got to say is thank you. You know what you're doing. And those who are close to you with a relationship, they know what you're doing. We ain't scared. Because we know this ain't our end, and this ain't our death sentence. We know it. But many of them out there don't know it. So give us the strength, God, so that we can teach them and show them that the way to eternal life is through Jesus Christ. And repent. If they repent of their sins, and they will see what we see. The end. And the end is eternity with you. Help us, God. Keep us healthy so that we have the strength to evangelize it to a dying world. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. All right, y'all. Got to go. Elena, you're late. Be kind. Rewind. We'll see you soon. I ain't been on here that long. I don't come on that much anymore because I'm writing this book, and I've got strict instructions to keep writing. I got to keep writing, and so I'm not on as much as I would. So those of you on YouTube and those of you here, my bad, but I got to get this book out. This is an election year. I'm trying to educate the people on what's getting ready to happen in November. All right, and why is it that we are to a place right now where if you're not paying attention, the world's going to pass you by, and you who are a believer going to be wondering what happened. I got left. I got left. And I'm not talking about left behind like in an eschatological way. I mean left. The world has moved on, and you behind here you're still sniffing duff and pitching pennies and saying old terms like hello walls and juke joints and old country bumpkin stuff. You still saying and practicing old stuff in your churches. That stuff died years ago. You still doing it. And the world has moved on to all of the higher heights and astrology and stellas and all kind of mysticism and things. They have moved on to the books have been opened in Daniel, and the people's knowledge is increasing, and they're going to and fro, and you still pre-Daniel, still talking about the same stuff in your old country bumpkin churches. The world passing you by. You better open up your gates. All right. If you ain't heard nothing, I hope you heard that one. Please play something before you dismiss. Daniel's way over there, man. I can't get over there. I can't get over there. It's too far. I'd have to unplug stuff. So you should have told me this when you see if you come to class early. If you come to class early, I could have played you something. But now you're late, so now I gotta penalize you. So now you gotta buy my records. All right, y'all, gotta go. Hey Alexa, say goodnight to Marlon.
Good night. Sleep tight.
Let me see if she know your name. Hey Alexa, tell Marlon good night.
Good night, Marlon.
Love y'all. Hit the share button, will you please? It's 30 of you. Hit share right now. Boom, boom, share. And I'll see y'all. A thumbs up. YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll read you a fortune. Good night.